Hello. Today I will tell you 10 questions I was asked at an interview for a job for MERN stack developer. I just wanted to clarify that this is for educational purposes only. So the first question was, divide the cake into 8 pieces in 3 cuts only. So you have to use the knife just 3 times. And the way to do this is, let's say this is the cake. The first cut will be vertical and it divides the cake into 2 pieces. So one cut 2 pieces. The second cut will be horizontal and it divides the cake into 4 pieces. So 2 cuts 4 pieces. Right now you will have 4 slices. What you need to do is stack them on top of each other and do the final cut that cuts each slice into 2. So in your third cut you will have 8 pieces. The second question was, there is a track of 80 km and 2 trains are coming from opposite directions at a speed of 40 km per hour. There is a bird that is flying between these 2 trains at a speed of 100 km per hour. It keeps moving from train 1 to train 2 and then back to train 1 until the 2 trains meet. Find the total distance traveled by the bird. It seems like a difficult question, but it has a very simple solution. You do not need to calculate the distance between each trip from train 1 to train 2. You just need to find the time. So the total distance between trains is 80 km. Each train is traveling at a speed of 40 km per hour. Their combined speed is 80 km per hour. So the time they will meet is 1 hour. The bird is flying at a speed of 100 km per hour. So the distance traveled by the bird is its speed and the time when both trains meet. That is 100 km. I created a simple animation to demonstrate this. Both trains are coming towards each other and the bird is flying between them. The third question was to create a schema in MongoDB such that, let's say you have users with a specific role and permissions assigned to them. Each user can have multiple roles and permissions. First, you need to find all users with a specific permission along with the role associated with that permission. For that, you need to have a role IDs array in your users collection. These are all the roles this user has, and you will have a roles collection that will have permission IDs of all the permissions this role has. And third will be a simple permissions collection with its ID and name. We need to perform an aggregation on the users collection. We use lookup in MongoDB to join collections, just like we use joins in MySQL to connect two tables. We will check the role IDs array in the users collection with ID of the roles collection. And since role IDs is an array, we need to unwind it. Unwind simply extract the array into each separate document. And we also need to unwind the role object so we can use it in another lookup. The second join we will apply is on the permissions collection, where we join the ID from the permissions collection with the permission IDs array in the roles collection. And since we need to find a specific permission, we will use the match operator in MongoDB and match with the name in the permissions collection. Let's say we are searching for permission edit article. Finally, we need to use a project operator to return only the required fields. We will not return ID. We will return user ID, username, role ID, and role name. And this is it. The second problem was to find the total number of users with a specific permission. It will be almost similar to the previous query, so we will simply copy paste it. We do not need the project operator here. We need to use the group operator and group them by user ID. And then we will use the count operator that counts all the documents grouped by user ID and return them as total users. The fourth question was, given a React component, find the mistake. It is importing React and use state from React. This is fine. Then it is defining a component and creating a state variable that is an object with value initialized to 0. Then it is creating an onClick handler. In this function, it is trying to update the state variable but in the wrong way. So the problem is here. This is the button. When it is pressed, that function is called. The problem is you cannot mutate the value of a state variable directly. What you need to do is to create a deep copy of your state object. Structured clone is a built-in JavaScript function that clones an object. Then we need to increment the value in the cloned object and update the state object with the cloned object. Now this is fine. The fifth question was, let's say you have a string, find the number of characters that needs to be removed such that no AAA is found in that string. So if you have a string AA, then 0 because there is no AAA. If you have tetra A, then 2 because if you remove one A, then it is left with AAA and you need to remove another A to make the string AA. So what we need to do is create a function that accepts the input string as an argument. We create a variable that will count the number of characters to remove and a variable to start the loop. We will return this count. We will create a loop that starts from 0 until the length of string minus 3. So if the string is tetra A, then it will run twice because 4 minus 3 is 1 and it runs when I is equal to 0 and when I is equal to 1. Then we will check if the current character is A and the next character is also A and the character after that is also A. If yes, then it means that we have triple array and we need to remove one character. So we will increment our counter and we will increment our I to keep the loop running. That's it. Let me try it with some inputs. So for double A we will get 0, for triple A we will get 1, for tetra A we will get 2, for B tetra AC we will again get 2, for B triple A, B double A we will get 1 and for BABAB we will get 0. Great. Now move to the sixth question. It was a classic two-sum problem where you have to check if the sum of any two items in a given array is equal to the number provided. Easy way is to brute force it, but they asked for O(n) time and space complexity. So we will create a function that accepts input array and the number as arguments. First we will create a set. It is similar to what we have as hash map in Java. It stores key value pairs. Then we will loop through the array and we will get the complement, which is the number minus current number in the array. So if you have an array 1, 3, 5, 6 and the number is 7, on the first iteration it will get 7 minus 1 which is equal to 6, then 7 minus 3 is equal to 4, then 7 minus 5 is equal to 2 and finally 7 minus 6 is equal to 1. You can see that the number I subtracted in the first iteration, which is 1, is the same as the result of the last iteration when we did 7 minus 6 and it resulted in 1. So we will return true if the complement already exists in the set. If not, then we will add the current item in the set. And if the complement is not found and the loop ends, then it means that there are no such numbers that when added result in the target number. So I will return false. Now if I try to run it with this array and number 7, in the first iteration it will be 7 minus 1 is equal to 6. Right now the set is empty, so it will add 1 in the set. Then it will do 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. It is not in the set, so it will add 4 in the set. Then it will do 7 minus 1 is equal to 1. Now 1 is already added in the set in the first iteration, so it will return 2. It stops the loop and exits the function. The seventh question was an easy one. It is to swap two numeric variables without creating a third one. So let's say you have variables a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 7. What we need to do is first add these variables and assign the result to a. Then we will subtract these two and assign to b. Now the a is 12 minus 7 is equal to 5. Then we will again subtract these two and assign to a. Right now a was 12 and b was 5, so it became 7. So you can see that two variables are swapped. Eighth question was about transforming a nested array to an array of objects. The first array is the header. We need to assign the first column of the first array to the first column of the other arrays. It should become like this. So we will create a variable of a nested array. First we will get the header array, then create an output array. We will loop through the array but start from 1 because we already got the 0 as header. Then get the row, create an object for each array, then loop through the headers array. And we need to assign the header value as an associative array key of the object and assign it the value from the row. So it becomes id is equal to 1 and in the next iteration it becomes name is equal to Adnan. After all the headers are added in the object, we will push it in the result array. The ninth question was also an easy one. It is to pass a value from child component to parent component. Passing value from parent to child is easy because you just need to pass the props. But in order to pass from child to parent, you need to do a few steps. So this is our parent component. We are importing a child component. We are passing a property on send value to the child component and its value will be a function inside parent component. In this function, we will be getting a value from child component and in here we are displaying that value in the console. Now we need to create our child component. In this component, we are creating a button which when clicked will call a function. In this function, we are calling a callback function we are receiving from parent component. We are passing a string value to that component and it will be displayed in the parent component. And the 10th question was super easy. It was just to create two routes, home and test. In home, we need to display text home in the center vertically and horizontally. It should be red in color and underlined. In the test route, we need to create a link back to the home route. So first we need to install the React Route DOM module. It is used for routing in a React app. This is our app.js file. We are importing browser router where all the routes will go and routes that will be used for each route. We are importing home and test components. We create these two routes, set their path and the component that will be rendered. This is our home component. We are aligning the text in center. Justify content center will center horizontally and align item center will center vertically. Height 100 VH means that the height will be 100% of the viewport height, meaning the visible browser window. Color is red and text decoration is underlined. We are applying the style to that text and it will work fine. I will show you in a minute. And in my test component, I will import link from React Router DOM because I need to create a link to the home route. So this is how you can create a link in React. I created a simple React app to demonstrate this. This is my app.js. I have defined all the routes. This is my home component. And this is my test component. So that's it. I hope you might have learned some new things, and I will be happy to answer any of your questions if you have.